Lights turns red between us, same street, different lives. You're holding coffee in your left hand like you always did when you were tired. I almost walk right past you, muscle memory fails. Then our eyes collide softly like they're surprised we're still here. You look older in a gentle way, like time was mostly kind. I wonder if you still sleep on the same side of your mind. Everything comes back at once in the space of a breath. Late nights, cheap dinners, every almost we never said. Standing at this crosswalk, finding cracks in the ground. Funny how the longest story fits inside one red light now. The lights can't change at all, they just went off. I remember teaching you that song you used to hum to calm yourself. My phone buzzes in my pocket, I won't check who it is. For a second I forget that we're not what we were then. I think of the way we ended without a sound. How love didn't break loudly, it just stopped turning around. Everything comes back at once in the middle of the street. Your jacket on my chair, your shoes by the sink. Standing at this crosswalk with years between our hands. I never knew forgetting could look so much like this again. I want to ask if you're happy, but the light's already blinking. You wanna say something too, I see it, but you're thinking. Some questions age too well, they don't need to be said. They live in the way we hesitate and nod instead. Everything comes back at once, then quietly let's go. The lights turn to scream, you say my name like a memory, I say yours like a scar. Then we walk in opposite directions, still exactly who we are. Halfway down the block, I don't turn around, but in my head, you're still standing there, waiting for the light to change. I'm standing in the kitchen late, like honing over half. Two choices on the counter, neither one feels safe. Catch myself turning sideways, ready to ask the air, like you're still leaning on the door frame, like you ever left. You used to listen first before you ever spoke. You tilt your head a little, like the answer wasn't the point. I wonder what you tell me if you were still here. Why'd you say be careful, or don't lose this fear? I hear your voice in the silence, even now, even then. I don't know if it's memory or love that never learned to end. You always knew when I was lying to myself, not you. You'd say you'll be okay, but only have to tell the truth. I open my mouth out of habit, then stop halfway through. It's strange how advice can linger when the person dies. show, not as a ghost in the room, but as a calm that shows up when I don't know what to choose. I know what you tell me now, I think I always have. You say go on, don't wait for me without half smile you had. So I take a breath and listen, not to fear, not to doubt, just the part of me shape that knows the way out. I make the choice alone, but not without you. 'Cause every brave thing I do still sounds a little like you. I was looking for something else, a receipt, a note, a reason. The book fell open on its own like it remembered. There it was, folded thin, edges soft from waiting. My handwriting looked unfamiliar, like it belonged to someone younger. I don't remember writing this, but I remember the night, the way morning felt impossible and sleep felt like a fight. I read it slower than I should, every word still intact. It didn't hurt the way I feared it hurt, the way it happened. Not sharp, not loud, just quietly true, like realizing the scar already healed. Still knew you. There's a sentence I don't finish, I see why I stopped. Some things were too honest to land with a period. I laugh at one line in the middle, God, I was dramatic then, but my chest tightens anyway because I know what I meant. I remember who I was when this felt like the end, how surviving meant holding on to anything that said. Then I thought I'd outgrown these words, thought they'd feel untrue, but time doesn't erase meaning, it just changes the view. I don't wish you were here, I don't wish I could go back. I just stand there holding proof that I once loved like that. You're not a wound anymore, you're a chapter I don't reread. But finding this reminds me how deeply I used to bleed, and how I didn't break even when I thought I might. I kept living, I kept choosing nights. I pulled the page one last time, but not the way I did before. I don't hide it like a secret, I don't need it anymore. It's not something I lost, it's not something I keep, just a version of me who felt everything that deeply. I place it back between the pages, close the book, set it down. Some memories don't come back to haunt you, they come back to show you you made it out. It's almost midnight, screaming too low. My thumb keeps moving out of habit. Nothing I care about, nothing new. Then suddenly, hey, there you are. Same smile, different season. tagged you, I shouldn't look. Your hair's a little longer now, like time did that on purpose. I tell myself it's just a picture, pixels don't mean a thing, but my chest reacts before my head, like it remembers everything. I paused on your face, like the app froze on its own. The room got quiet, even though I wasn't alone. I didn't miss you all day, I didn't plan to deny, but one small square on my screen turned my heart back on. I zoom in without thinking, the curve of your mouth still the same. I wonder who stood behind the camera, heard if they know your real name. There's a comment that makes you laugh, I don't read it twice. I don't need details, just proof that you're alive. I almost tapped the heart icon, my finger hovers then retreats. It feels wrong to leave a trace in a life I no longer keep. I paused on your face, like I forgot how to scroll. Every memory reloaded without asking for control. You look happy or maybe calm, hard to tell online. I hate how good you look, like you were never mine. I remember the sound of your keys, the way you said my name. None of that fits inside the photo, still it hits the same. I wonder if you ever stop mid-scroll like this and feel your breath catch over something you missed. I paused on your face, then I locked my phone, sat with the echo of something I outgrew alone. I don't need to reach out, I don't need to explain, but I let myself feel it before I move on again. The screen goes dark, my reflection shows no one older, still soft. Tomorrow I'll forget the moment, but tonight I see your face. I wake up with your voice still balanced on my tongue, like if I move too fast it'll disappear at once. The room feels unfamiliar, like I borrowed it overnight. I grab a pen from the drawer before the words decide to hide. Dreams don't follow grammar, they don't care what's true, they just leave impressions in the shape of you. I write what you said to me, even though it makes no sense. Half finished thoughts, broken sense. Your handwriting isn't here, but I know the tone is strange. How something unreal feels the most like home. You asked if I've been eating, I said yeah, like I always do. You smiled like you didn't believe me, like you still saw through. gaps with guesswork. Your laughing parentheses, a silence I underline twice. I don't correct the spelling, I don't clean the page. If I make it to a perfect, I'll lose what it says. In the dream you didn't leave, you just stood a little apart. Like distance was a choice, not a breaking of the heart. You said my name like a question, I answered like it was enough. I wake up knowing it wasn't final. I read it back out loud. You're too thin and small, but my chest reacts like it heard it all. I fold the page carefully, like it might bruise. Some conversations only happen when we lose. The sun climbs up the wall, the dream lets go. I put the paper in a break, I never open anymore. It's not proof, it's not sad, just something real that visited me one last time. I kick my shoes off by the door, they land where yours used to. The hallway light hums too loud, so I turn it down to half. My jacket smells like outside, like streets that don't know my name. I drop my keys in the bowl, they echo longer than they should. I tell myself I'm tired, that this is just the day letting go. But my hands are shaking, like they've been holding something fragile. Now it's just me in the quiet, sitting where you never are. Every room feels bigger when it knows you're not coming back. I don't cry right away, I always wait too long. Like maybe if I stay still enough, the feeling will move on. A microwave leftovers for one each, standing by the sink. The TV's on for company, but I don't hear a thing. Your mug's still in the cabinet, I don't know why I notice now. I touch it like it might explain how we got from then to now. I scroll past all missiles, all messages to stop before your name. I don't wanna reopen something I barely survived. In the quiet, in my quiet, in my head, every second drags its feet, like it knows what comes next. I don't miss the fights or tears, I miss the in between, the way you say nothing at all and still know what I mean. If I let myself feel this, it might take the whole night. So I bargain with the dark, just one memory at a time. Your laugh on the couch at 2 a.m., your hand finding mine. I don't chase it, I just let it pass, like headlights through blinds. Now it's just me and the quiet, in a house learning new rules. I don't need you to come back, I just need this to hurt less. Soon if loving you was a habit, then I'm breaking it slow. One ordinary evening after you let go. its breath. Tomorrow I'll be stronger, but tonight I let it stay. You used to stand right here without thinking about it, like gravity, like the way mornings worked. I never learned how to hold you, 'cause I never thought I'd have to. You felt permanent in a world that wasn't. I didn't say thank you enough, I didn't say goodbye at all. Some things don't end loudly, they just don't answer when you call. You were always beside me, so I stopped looking around. Now every place feels unfinished without your quiet sound. I don't reach for you anymore, but my body still does. I keep making room for you out of habit, out of love. Side of the best stays cool, no matter how late it gets. I still turn halfway toward it, like I forgot something. People say I'll get used to this, like it's just another change. But losing someone who felt constant rewrites the meaning of days. Measure time differently now, by what doesn't happen anymore. No footsteps down the hallway, no keys at the door. You were always beside me in ways I never named. The silence waves my shine, because it tells my praise. I don't quite the way I used to. I function, I adjust. There's a part of every moment that still waits, just in case. I don't imagine you coming back, I don't bargain with the past. I just miss the way existing was easier when we overlapped. You weren't loud or dramatic, you didn't demand to be said. You just stayed. It's all loud, I made every day. You were always beside me, so I built my life and ride on learning how to stay in the space you left behind. If loving you was a foundation, then this is me rebuilding slow. Not because I stopped loving you, but because I had to keep going. Tonight I still turn my head to tell you something small, and I remember you're not good for me. You're just a plant by the window I remember to water. My calendar's full of names you never heard before. I move through days with purpose, they used to scare me. Sometimes I catch my reflection and don't correct the stance, like I'm still learning who I am when no one's watching. This life doesn't look like survival, it looks like choice. I don't measure silence anymore, I let it have a voice. I'm not waiting for something to break or suddenly feel wrong. I'm standing in a future I never thought I'd belong. I know the streets by heart now, in a city you never saw. There's a coffee place on the corner where they know my order. I laugh easier than I used to, sleep without rehearsing pain. Some nights I even forget what I was afraid of losing. It's strange how peace can feel like something I didn't earn, like if I relax too much I'll miss a lesson I already learned. This life doesn't ask me to prove it, doesn't need a defense. I don't explain my happiness, I just live it in. I don't miss who I was with you, but I honor who I became. Some loves aren't meant to last, they're meant to change your shape. They're meant to change your shape. Still carry pieces of you, not like weight, not like blame, more like a language I once spoke that taught me how to name things like comfort and leaving and staying too long. I don't use those words the same now, but I know where they came from. This life feels steady in my hands, even when it's unsure. I go chase intensity, I choose what feels true. If you saw me now, you might not recognize the light I stand, but I'd smile and say I know. I grew into this, I'd turn off the light, the room stays calm. I'm not who I was, I'm not who I feared, I'm just here, and that's enough. And that's enough. The room finally settles. No light, no sound, my phone face down on the floor, like it knows better now. But sheets twisted around my legs, breathing almost even. I think I'm safe, I think I'm leaving the day. Thoughts slow into shapes, no words yet, just wait. Then it slips in one sentence out of nowhere, sharp and small. You were the last place I felt at home at all. It doesn't ask permission, it doesn't explain, it just sits in my chest and says my name. I stare into the dark like it might blink first. My heart counts backwards to something I don't rehearse. I try to replace the thought with anything else, but it's already written somewhere deeper than myself. I tell myself it's only tiredness, that this will pass my morning, but the truth knows when I'm weakest and waves. One sentence, heavy as stone, soft as breath. You never stop being mine, you just stop being here. I swallow hard in the silence, pretend turn on the light, it disappears, so I let it live. Right here. Not everything needs an answer. Some things just need to be felt, even if it hurts, even if it costs sleep. One sentence, then another beat. My body finally gives in, but my heart doesn't sleep. Tomorrow I'll function, I always do, but tonight that sentence stays true. So door closes gently. The door closes gently around my eyes. I don't think of you, I just feel where you used to be. And then gone. Water hits my shoulders hard, like it's trying to wake me up. I stare at the towel, counting cracks. Anything not to think too much. Salt runs down my wrist. Things that you used to steal. I didn't know a smell could still remember how to feel. I tell myself it's just routine, just another end of day, but the room gets smaller when my guard starts to slip. It comes out of nowhere, right under the chair. Your voice in the echo, your hands on my sleeves. I press my forehead to the wall like I can't stop the flow. Our memories don't need permission, they just show up. I remember you behind me here, laughing when the water went cold. You said move over like a joke, like we had nowhere else to go. I shut my eyes a second too long. The present blurs with then. Forgot the breath I almost turned to tell you something dumb again. My chest tightens and releases like it's relearning pain. I didn't plan on missing you this hard, this way. Comes out of nowhere between rinse and repeat. Your name in my breathing, your ghost in the heat. I thought I was past this, I thought I was tough, but steam makes everything honest, and I'm not enough. And I'm not enough. If I cry, no one can hear, the water covers the sound. I let it happen for a moment, let it knock me down. I don't ask why it still hurts, I don't beg it to stop. I just stand there shaking till the feeling drops. It fades like it always does, it leaves me hollow but clean. I turn the handle to cold, just to prove it's to me. I breathe through the silence, wrap it so tight I didn't fall apart forever just for tonight. The mirror's fogged, I wipe when my